What's up, YouTube? Good Monday morning. BD Kane 721. Thanks for stopping by once again for one of my videos. I appreciate your time very much. Thank you for the support. And today I'm going to be catching you up on some mail day as well as talk about a small show I went to here in the San Diego area this past weekend. Give you some insight into what I experienced there and show you the couple of cards that I picked up. So first, I've got a little brick of magenta speckle cards for the set that I'm working on. And this set is coming along very nicely. In fact, this past weekend over um, eBay, I made a couple of purchases of two cards that I'll be showing in a video in the future when they come in that are probably going to be the most expensive cards in the set. I was really excited to pull both of them in a couple of auctions that ended yesterday. So I'll be showing those off in a future video. But for today, I'm just showing you the cards that have come in the last week or so. Javi Baez, Trevor Story, Moncada, Jose Ramirez, Dahlback, Urias, Jimenez, Mullins, De La Cruz, Meadows, Castro, and Pavin Smith. So nice little brick of cards, goes right into the set. I think I'm up to 102 cards total that I have either purchased or have in hand. So almost halfway there. On to the show that I went to this past weekend here in the San Diego area. There's not many shows that I can get to within a 10 or 15-minute drive of my house. Most of the shows in Southern California are located up in the LA and Orange County areas, which with traffic can be a very tedious effort. So I try not to go to those as much anymore. They did have the Union Marketplace show in Del Mar a couple weeks ago. I was unfortunately out of town, so I was not able to attend that. I feel like they're probably going to have that show maybe once or twice a year. So hoping they'll have that sometime in the spring of 2023. But there was a show that happened locally. It's a very small show. I've never been to it before. It's held in a Elks Lodge in one of the communities around the San Diego area, and I think it was supposed to be about a 25 to 30 table show. I think they probably had somewhere around 20 tables or so, if my math serves me correctly. But it costs you $3 to get in, which is a little unusual, but I think it's more of a donation to the lodge and helps defray the cost of the show so they can put it on more often. They give you a raffle ticket for prizes every hour, and then they also allowed you to pick a pack out of a couple of boxes that were up front. They had old stuff of baseball. When I say old, I'm talking junk wax era like late 80s, early 90s, and basketball. And then they also had hockey, which is something that I don't really collect at all, to be honest. And I don't really know much about hockey anymore. I used to follow it when I was a younger man. But since living in San Diego, where there's no hockey really, um, hockey is not something that I follow very often. This is 1990 Topps. And I remember opening packs like this when I was a kid. So I was going to open this here on camera, show you what's in it. I don't know much about hockey these days, although some of these players I probably will remember. Here's Gum from 1990, sticking to the Perry Berezon card. Actually came off pretty nicely. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and flip. Oh, I don't know what this card is, but Dino Ciccarelli, I remember that name. Team scoring leaders card. Rob Stauber, Garth Butcher, Dennis Savard, I definitely remember that name. I think he was a Canadian at some point, maybe. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Mike, Canadian cards, you might be able to correct me. I think he became a Canadian at some point. I followed the Montreal Canadiens when I was a kid because I really liked Patrick Roy, and they had some pretty good teams there in their early 90s. Cam Neely, definitely remember that name. New York Islanders card. Neil Sheehy. Pete Peters. Ron Sutter, definitely remember that from watching the Flyers growing up. There's a Matthew Schneider, great defenseman for the Canadiens. Stéphane Lebeau, center for the Canadiens. Paul McLean, I think I remember that name. Doug Gilmour, definitely remember that name. Bernie Federko, and Perry Berezon. So, names in there that I remember as a kid, but I don't think there's really any kind of value in that pack of cards. And then in the rest of the show, I picked up a couple of cards. One for the Machado PC. Somebody had this in a dollar box, which actually was marked at a couple of bucks. So I picked that up. This is the X-Fractor of 2022 Topps Chrome of Manny Machado. Still trying to work on that little rainbow. And then I jumped on a bandwagon. And I usually don't jump on bandwagons too often, but I certainly jumped on this one. I'm hoping I didn't jump on it well after it left the station, but saw this card for a reasonable price, got it down to $5 less than what the sticker was asking for it, but he had another great game yesterday for the Philadelphia Eagles, and so I decided to just jump on the Jalen Hurts bandwagon and pick up one of his rated rookie optic cards. Came in this nice mag. Looks pretty decent as far as condition goes. Might be just a little bit off-centered if you really look at it closely. The back looks all more off-centered than the front. So I don't know if it's grade worthy, but thought it'd be a cool card to have in the collection, maybe use as trade bait towards the end of the season. If he wins the Super Bowl this year, there will be a lot more interest in a card like that. So that's it. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of what's been happening in the BD Kane 721 world the last week or so. But I'm really excited to show you the next video when those couple cards show up, and maybe it'll be next week, hopefully. But until then, have a great week. Stay safe, be kind, and I will talk to you guys soon. See ya.